What's up, everybody? It's Trey. I'm going to be talking today about the music platform NFTempo. So this first video is going to be the pros and cons. Then I'm going to upload another one that shows more of the process of how to upload. So just a brief overview. NFTempo is on XRP blockchain, abbreviation of XRPL. It's one of the bigger blockchains, but most people don't really talk about it because it's in like a kind of a class action lawsuit that is about to be settled or something like that. You can look up more information about it if you're interested. There's a lot of people that believe in this chain. I haven't had much exposure to it at all, so it was kind of interesting to be able to see what a music platform on this blockchain would be like. So let's start with the pros. Pro number one is the founders are really accessible. And so I got to have a chat with Niall, the CMO, and he really walked me through the entire upload process. He's talked to me for, any questions that I had. He's been really responsive anytime that I've needed him, and I see him around all the time. Pro number two, along the same lines, Niall and the team, they're not like invisible in the space, and they're actually like in a lot of these conversations. He's often playing the musician's music that's on the platform. So I've gotten some sales without having to personally do that much marketing, and he's gone out there and he's played my stuff, and people follow me and people like it, and they've purchased. That's really cool, and I appreciate that, the fact that the platform itself is actually pushing the track that I've made. Pro number three is that it actually has video integrations, so you're able to upload full music videos. And Niall told me that they're coming with almost 80 gig capacity soon, so you're going to be able to do some really long videos and maybe even documentary type stuff. That's definitely something that other platforms don't allow for, so that's dope. And pro number four, I didn't really cover this in my sound.xyz pros and cons. You actually own your contract with NFTempo, so you're minting them directly to yourself, and then they're in your wallet rather than like a custodial wallet, and you get to control how everything works. So that's a big pro. Pro number five, which I think is also something to note, is that they have incentives for owning and creating. So because I created and I own the copies before I even sell them, like I have all of these collectibles in my wallet and then I list them for other people to purchase, they actually have a faucet where they have a new token that you can claim just for owning these collectibles. So that's myself for owning them, and then anybody who's purchased from me can actually go claim rewards every day. And I'll show that in the next video what that process is like. That's really cool, and it's definitely appreciated. Anything that the platform is doing to also reward people that are supporting me and the artists can't be understated. It doesn't seem like it all has to be on my shoulders to make sure that these are successful, and the platform is actually really giving support. They even funded the startup cost to actually mint the NFTs and to list them because there is some costs associated. So anytime that the platform itself is actually supporting you financially, promotionally, like all of these things, that's going above and beyond, and I applaud them for that. All right, yes, that means that there has to be some cons, right? So the cons, as you'll see in the next video, is that it is incredibly hard to sign up. It's a really clunky process. You have to actually have extensive blockchain knowledge as well as a lot of patience. So along those same lines, the next con would be that you actually have to have crypto in order to get started. And because I didn't own any XRP, they had to, fund my wallet for me so that I could actually do that. So again, that was one of the pros, but the con is the fact that I even need to have crypto in the first place to get started. So that's definitely a hurdle. So even after you upload, the next con would be to actually list the NFTs. It's fairly simple to kind of create your own profile and drag and drop your media. But when it comes to selling the collectibles, you have to actually list each one at a time. And so that takes time, and it also costs a little bit. While it's marginal, there's still a little bit of a cost. So I had 50 editions, which means I had to sign 50 transactions And it was comical. Like Niall was on the call with me and we were sitting there laughing about it. They say they're going to abstract that away and make it easier. So I'll give an update video when that happens, and I'll let everyone know. But for now, that's why I say you need some patience, because it takes a bit of time to get through. So the next con is that costs, while they're marginal, there's something called reserves on XRP. Basically, the best way I can describe it is you have to make a deposit for these transactions, and then you get that money back as people buy from you. So that's not how it works on other blockchains. So like for me, I was like, what is this? But it kind of makes sense, because instead of having to pay a fee for each transaction, you just kind of make one deposit, and then those transactions are covered up until the point where you're, making that money back. In a way, I kind of understand that and I like that, but that's why I'm doing this, so that we can kind of understand what's happening here. So along similar lines, like the UI itself is a little bit clunky. And again, they say they're working on all this, so I commend them, and I believe that they are. But there's like a ton, rather than it just being one tile that you click on and then there's additions, there's like one for each of these. And so because I've made 50, there's like 50 of the same thing over and over, rather than it just being one and then how many of them are available. It's not a huge deal, but it's one of those things where like, if you click on it and you look at it, you're like, this doesn't look that great or fun to use. One con that I can't really understate that they say they're working on, the contract splits don't exist yet. So there's only one person that actually receives that. They say they're updating it where you're going to be able to add multiple wallets that receive those contracts. So for now, that's definitely a con, because I collaborate with Journey, I collaborate with other people, and definitely want to make sure that those people get the credit and the compensation without me having to be that middleman that actually manually has to pay people out, because nobody got time for that. And so finally, the last con for me, because it's on the XRP ledger, I don't know too many people that use that. That's not like my main sphere. And so because of that process being difficult, you can't really recruit too many people over there, because it's going to take like 20-30 minutes for them to sign up, and they have to already have the crypto, or you have to front them the money to be able to buy your thing. And it's just too much of a headache right now to actually bring new people on. So you kind of you get to sell to the people that already exist, that already have that crypto. Thankfully, there's a good number of it, and they do a good job of promoting it, like I said in the pros. But one of the cons is that you can't really bring new people in unless they have a lot of patience for purchasing. So it's not just a headache on the uploading side, but to actually like download the wallet, as you'll see in my next video, and do all that. It takes some time. So yeah, so those are my pros and cons of NFTempo. Once again, I think the platform itself is really supportive. Niall is a good dude. We've gone back and forth a ton of times. They've helped out with marketing. They've helped out with funds. They've promoted it, gotten people to buy it. And, they bring me in to perform some of these tracks in spaces and get more fans. So that's what it's all about from the actual platform standpoint. I can't really ask for too much more from them in terms of support. And then on the con side is that kind of the whole upload process is clunky. The user experience is clunky, and it's a little difficult to bring people in because they need XRP. Overall, I'm excited to see where they go. Shout out to Niall, and shout out to everybody who's collected Life is Better on Wheels. It's a really fun track. Check it out. The link's in my bio, and much love. Talk to you soon. Peace.